Good afternoon and welcome to the City Council meeting for the City of International Falls for Monday, October 2, 2017. I would ask all present to please arise and pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would ask the City Administrator to note the roll call of all members of the Council present. Move to the agenda, and we have one addition to the agenda, and that's under the consent agenda, item 2, expenses for employee William Tomczak to attend a building operator certification training at Rainy River Community College. With that, your pleasure with the agenda and addition.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve the agenda with the addition.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Droba. Discussion on the motion or the agenda. Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Agenda is approved with the addition. Thank you. Move to the minutes of the regular City Council meeting on September 18, 2017.
Move.
Motion by Councillor Briggs. Second by Councillor Pearson to approve the minutes of the Monday, September 18, 2017 regular City Council meeting. Discussion on the motion of the minutes. Question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Minutes are approved. Thank you. And then we have the minutes of the special City Council meeting of Monday, September 25th. Motion by Councillor Pearson to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Droba. And discussion on the motion or the minutes. Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Minutes are approved. Thank you. Go to the payment of claims and transfers. We have one transfer, and that's to the General Fund number 101 from the Lodging Tax Fund, $741.50. And we have accounts payable claims, the City of International Falls regular claims of $211,474.75. The Airport Commission claims of $28,331.09. Airport Commission Terminal Project claims of $487,133.63. Your pleasure with the resolution to approve the transfers and claims.
I'll move on the resolution.
Motion by Councillor Droba to adopt the resolution approving the payment of claims and the transfer. Second by Councillor Pearson. Discussion on the motion or the resolution or the claims or transfer. None, question.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I vote yes. Motion is carried. The resolution is adopted and approval is given of the transfer and the payment of claims. Thank you. We'll go to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to bring something to the attention of the City Council at this time? That's not on the agenda. Another opportunity at the end of the meeting for audience participation. With that, we would move to whole business, and we have the resolution authorizing governmental lease for the radio equipment and authorizing other actions and signatures. City Administrator, do you have any comments? That's the resolution.
I do not have any comments regarding that. Did you bypass the proclamation, Mr. Mayor? I noticed in my packet it was a couple of sheets in behind the resolution, so are you at...
I'm on old business.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why mine's in the... Okay, I'm sorry. No, I don't have any comments other than the council had already passed a motion to approve the to approve the acquisition. In our conversations with legal counsel, they needed to prepare a resolution to make that of record and make the findings that are included in the resolution, so it's fairly self-explanatory. I did include as attachments a copy of the legal opinion that Mary Ipple of Briggs & Morgan had rendered regarding to the tax-exempt status of those bonds. And then there's a separate legal opinion that was prepared by the city attorney regarding the proceedings that were that transpired, and so there's two legal opinions with that, as well as a copy of the government lease agreement.
City Attorney, did you have any comments with regard to your opinion?
No, it's self-explanatory. I think everything's fine, and a good way to finance this acquisition so as not to have to have a special referendum, which would be quite expensive to the city and would delay the process.
Okay, very good. Many questions of the city administrator or the city attorney? Not, a motion would be in order to approve authorizing the action and signatures.
I would move on the resolution to authorize the lease for the radio.
Motion by Councillor Droba, second by Councillor Pearson to adopt that resolution. Discussion? Question?
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted, and approval is given for the lease of the radio equipment and the signatures to that agreement. Thank you. Move to the consent agenda. There's two items under consent agenda. Approve the expenses for the fire chief, assistant fire chief, and a member of the fire department to attend the Minnesota State Fire Chiefs Conference, October 17th through the 21st in Rochester. Item 2 is the addition to the agenda, and that's to approve expenses for William Tomzak to attend the building operator certification training, October 25th and 26th at the Rainy River Community College. Pleasure with the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councillor Briggs,
I'll second.
second by Councillor Jacksaw. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
No vote yes. Motion is carried. Consent agenda is approved. Thank you. We'll move to new business. We have the mayoral proclamation establishing October 2017 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
I'll move on the resolution.
Motion by Councillor Droba to approve the proclamation. Second by Councillor Pearson. Discussion on the motion or the proclamation? Hearing none, question.
Aye.
Aye.
No vote yes. Motion is carried. Proclamation is approved. Thank you. Item number 2 under new business is a resolution for an exempt permit for the Bronco Hockey Boosters to conduct a raffle, drawing to be held on December 22nd, 2017 at Bronco Arena. Your pleasure with that application. Motion by Councillor Briggs to approve.
Second.
Second by Councillor Jacksaw. Discussion on the motion or the application? Hearing none, question?
Aye.
And a vote yes. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted, and the application for the exempt permit is approved. Thank you. We'll move to the item 3 under new business, and that's to consider the general agreement between Voyageurs National Park and the International Falls Fire Rescue EMS Department for Emergency Services. Manassa?
you, Mayor. Basically, this is an update of what we've had in the past. We've kind of unofficially had an agreement with them. This was something that Head Ranger Ben Welsh wanted to update here for a while. We did have an incident this last month that required the use of some of their equipment. We do have several park employees that are on the fire department. So basically, we readdressed the issue and we got things hammered out, and this is the agreement they brought forth. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like a good agreement and one that we can both benefit from. Administrator Anderson did have a lot to do with this on the final review of it, and I don't know if there's anything he'd like to add to this, but from my opinion, it looks like a good agreement.
Mayor.
City Administrator.
The principal change with this is related to Exhibit A, which talks about the use of National Park Service vessels for emergency response. And so, provided our fire and EMS personnel are trained in the use of Voyageurs National Park equipment, then we're allowed to use it, and that's what this agreement and this exhibit allows, so, or this appendix rather allows. So, we did revise some minor language, and I have not heard back as of the end of the day today from Bob DeGrosse is the superintendent at the park, and it was fine with his staff, but he didn't have an opportunity to review it, and we were waiting to hear back from them today. And having not heard from them, I suspect that it's okay as written, and so it should be adopted as written.
Okay, council pleasure with the approval of that agreement between Voyageurs National Park and the International Falls Fire Rescue EMS Department. Motion by Councillor Pearson to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Droba. Discussion. Questions for the chief. Councillor Droba.
So Chief, with this being addressed and having new equipment at the ready, then are you guys going to have a training night to have all of our employees trained on the equipment, or is it just going to be special teams for rural, or?
Well, how we've started this is a very similar agreement that they hold with the Captogama First Responders. They have several park employees that work for the CAB First Responders, so this was a kind of a mirror of what they did down there. Right now, the way it's stated is that it's the park employees that are also our employees, so there's 3 people right now in our department that have gone through the National Park Service watercraft test, I guess is what, in lack of a better term. They're licensed to drive those boats. We have discussed the option of, if they have those classes again next summer, putting some more additional people through there, so we'd have that option of having a few more people. As it states right now, it's just those 3 employees that are able to use that equipment. And basically what this did, the big thing this did is it sidestepped a phone call. It means if they have their keys on them, or if they have access to keys to the boats, they can use them without waking somebody up at 2 o'clock in the morning for, it streamlined the process, and we're hoping to progress from there next summer, not changing language, but adding people to that list that we can use.
Further questions or discussion? Chief, where is that piece of equipment housed?
This refers to any one of their vehicle or vessels. So currently they have boats at the Rainy Lake Visitor Center, and they also have boats at the Captogama Visitor Center and at Ash River. So our ambulance response area does cover Captogama and Ash River, so it really could be right situation. It could be any one of the places that we would use a vessel.
Very good. Other questions or discussion? Okay, Chair would then place the question of the agreement before the council. All those in question?
Aye.
Aye.
Now vote yes. Motion is carried. Agreement is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Any other new business? Move to reports of boards, committees, and department heads. City Administrator.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, Council, been working with Kelly to try to get completed some of these particularly one blight situation that we had before the council here a few weeks ago. And we've got a difficult situation because we've got a cooperative owner, but we've had a tenant that was in there that's being uncooperative and refusing to leave and not paying rent. And the chief's officers and I have probably had a dozen phone calls over the last 2 weeks over this situation, and so we're working hard to get it resolved, and we actually issued 3 criminal citations for trespassing for going back when they were told they couldn't and had promised not to, and now I just took a phone call before getting here, and apparently they left an animal unattended for days inside the home, and so there'll be more criminal citations issued, and it's a very sad situation, but we're working to get it done. That's all I have.
Well, thank you. That's another one of the headaches in the community that you're alleviating. Thank you. Chief Maston?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I've included my September activity report for the police department for this year. You'll see as far as our numbers go, we had 304 general calls for service, 66 traffic stops, 27 medical assists. We made 14 arrests and generated 69 ICRs. Total activity 480. As far as our training went, we had some officers that attended the mental health first aid training over at Bacchus, which was well received. Our response team continued to train this month with the Arrowhead law enforcement instructor and did some live fire exercises at the range, which were very beneficial. We also attended, as did you, the Shield 616 presentation over at the which I thought was well attended and very well appreciated. 14 of our local officers received additional active shooter gear from our citizens, and we're very appreciative. Additionally, I wanted to point out that you may have seen in the paper that we're having an auction, and we're doing it a little bit differently than in the past. It's pretty popular with a lot of law enforcement agencies across the state right now, so we're doing an online auction through dubid.com, and the items that are being auctioned are things that were seized in criminal cases, so we have to dispose of them and disperse the funds. The Sheriff's Office has been doing it that way for a little while, and it looked like probably a good way to go, so we're giving it a shot.
Very good. Thank you. Another busy month, and certainly congratulations to all those officers, and thank you to the sponsors for the active shooter gear. That certainly, I think they said they need about 7 more to complete all the officers in Couchiching County. So that would be great. Questions for Chief Maston? Thank you for the good report. Good work. Chief Manassa?
For the month of September, we were pretty busy on the fire side. We had 4 city responses, 1 commercial fire, 1 fuel spill, and then 2 commercial fire calls. And then on the rural side, we had 1 house fire, 1 garage fire, 1 cabin fire on an island, which prompted the agreement with VMP. And then we also had 2 motor vehicle accidents. Following that, we did have 2 CN train fills, 3 CO alarms for the fire side. And then this month we tested our hose. We completed all the hose testing and got that completed for our training in September. On the ambulance side, we had 83 911s, 56 transfers for a total of 139 runs, which was the same as last September in 2016, 139 runs. This year's totals are 674 911s, 407 transfers for a total of 1,081 runs. For any questions?
A lot of activity.
Yes.
For the departments.
And I apologize, I did just finish this before the meeting. It is in your emails, so we'll make sure you get a copy out.
Thank you. Questions for Chief Manassa? Thank you for the good report. Thank you for all the activity. We'll move to reports to the mayor, council committees, boards, and commissions.
I think since we met last, we were going to do the citywide cleanup, and we did it now. So I just want to say we did it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian Briggs, Brian Nelson, Levi Pearson, Friends, Garbage, Wayne Fuller. The student council was just tremendous. They had 8 people there, and they were just a delight. It was fun watching them, actually. And others. I think I will put a thank you in the paper. And we didn't do the door-to-door flyer because it costs $1,000, but we didn't have quite the volume we did last time. It was down, but we did fill the truck. It was a smaller truck this time, and we collected quite a few white goods and electronics. And brush was less than we thought, which was surprising that it came in a little bit.
It's getting cleaner.
Yeah, it could be, hopefully. And so we will have a follow-up once the housing committee meets. Wade did indicate that he would prefer to do this just once a year, so we're going to be going to once a year. We can't do this without friends. And I think that we organize it, we do a better build-up for a week, maybe in advance. What I would like to see with this event is that neighbors help neighbors, and that because if you have something citywide and you really push it, then people feel freer to approach a neighbor that may have garbage problems and say, would you like to be a part of this? So it provides that impetus for asking. And so I think we can do more if we do a bigger buildup than one.
When do you think you would do that, Councillor Jackson? Would the June one seems to be?
June would maybe be the best, because it's that time of the year. It's a month after the snow has melted and revealed all of these problems. Well, maybe 2 months. But May is out, so it'd be nice to do it in May, but Wayne Fuller and the county site, they're so busy there that they asked us not to do it then. So June is a good time. People are, we know where the garbage problems are after the winter. And it was very well received at that time.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson, and all those that helped you. Another very successful cleanup of our city.
Hopefully it'll just get bigger and better, and we'll have more of a neighborly help thing. So.
Good approach. Thank you. Other council committees, boards, and commissions. You have my mayor's report. Have my curiosity, gentlemen, you're here for a purpose?
President of our agency, and on the agenda, the agreement with the Boyer National Park. I guess we were just in. And Bruce are also members of any effect this might have on rural. Park is part of our constituents. I would direct that to Chief Manassa.
Process of solidifying or figuring out, but I believe one of the agreements I have, the islands in the park are under the jurisdiction of the DNR. I'll find out for sure. And this agreement really doesn't. Had those agreements in place before. It was verbal agreements that were not official on paper. Park has been nice enough to help us out in the past, and now we're getting on. Your trucks will get 2 new radios in there.
No, just, tell me about that.
The 800s.
Some odd dollars for the 280. And I expressed that at the last meeting with you.
Yes, your trucks are getting 2 new radios, and then
that prompted the meeting with the general question is just my
Okay, thank you for attending the meeting this evening. Anyone else in the audience that has something to bring the attention of the council? If not, the next regular city council meeting will be at 4:30 on Monday, October 16, 2017. With that, we stand adjourned.